Okay, so thank you for joining us tonight. My name's Jen and I work with the city's communications and public engagement group, and I'll be your host tonight. And all that means is I'm going to help keep the conversation on track and make sure that we start and end on time, and to help you with any technology questions that you have. We can do a quick roundtable first. So we've got Jen with us, we've got Crystal, she's over at Center 70, and I believe with Barry, correct? Yep, Barry's there. Heather Scranage from the City of Kingston, Joanne Boris from the City of Kingston, and we also have Judith, Maureen, Peter, Carol, Colleen, and Donna. We had 15 people register to join us this evening, and you are the hardy 7 who have signed in so far. Just a couple of technology tips. We've been doing Zoom for a couple of years, but sometimes technology problems still happen. So like I said, the meeting's going to be recorded and we will upload it to YouTube later on. If you have any technology questions, there is a chat down in the bottom, and I see there is a chat question in there already. It's from Crystal, so we'll make sure that we send, Dave is hoping to join us. So if you have any other technology questions, you can ask them in the chat and I will help you out with those. If you get disconnected, the easiest thing to do is actually just to try and log in again with the Zoom information that you have in your email. There will be, like I said, it's a pretty informal get together this evening, but the best way to ask questions is to put them into the chat box, and that way it's the best way to get them over to Councillor Doherty, the city, and Crystal for responses. So you can type those into the chat and everybody can see those. You can ask a question verbally, and if everybody can press the raise hand button right now to make sure that I know you know how to use it, or you can also just like wave. We have a small group, so I can make sure that I can see those. Great, Crystal, everybody can use those. Okay, and then everything that is submitted in the chat this evening will be shared with Our Livable Solutions and city staff. I have one other little bit of housekeeping this evening. We begin every public engagement session with our guidelines for participation, and these were created by the community to help us have respectful conversations together. And we ask that everybody is open to all ideas. If there's a change in process, I will help that happen. And if you're joining from a mobile device, needless to say, please don't turn those off. Keep those on. And then with that, I'm going to stop screen sharing and I'm going to turn it over to Heather now.
Great, thanks, Jen, and thank you so much to everybody who's joined us this evening. I don't have any other slides to share, and we'll get to questions very shortly, but I did just want to share a message from Councillor Doherty, who is unfortunately unable to be here this evening due to previous work commitments. So she did want me to pass along her regrets, but she will certainly watch the recording, and those questions that are being asked today will be shared with her as well. So otherwise, why don't we open the floor to questions? Jen, I don't know if you've received any in the chat so far, or if anybody just would like to ask a question or make a comment.
The quiet group. I recognize a bunch of names, but I wondered if there was anybody who isn't familiar with our program or with the cabins already, and we can give a bit of an overview for you. And we're also prepared to show you inside of one of the cabins. Just we had to do a vote on whose was cleanest, but if somebody wanted to see them, do you want to? There's a raise hand if you wanted an overview or if you wanted a tour of the cabins. Nope, you all know us. So I'll just say the difference from, oh, Colleen. Were you looking for an overview or a tour?
I just wanted to comment that a year ago, I was on a similar preview of the program. And so I had the luxury of seeing its growth and progress. And so I just wanted to say that I support any initiative that is supporting these folks, especially yourself, and to say that, you know, I was here for the first round. I had some initial questions, and I'm very supportive at this point. And I just wanted to say thank you for continuing to put these public engagement sessions on to continue to allay any fears or concerns the public may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? So I'll maybe talk, since it seems like everybody is familiar with our program already, or at least I recognize the names. The differences between our visit to Portsmouth Harbour last time and this time is that we've gained a significant number of staff. So when we left Portsmouth Harbour last time, we had 2 staff and I was running myself ragged, but covering a lot of shifts. And now we have a team of 7, and they're all really great individuals who've come from diverse backgrounds. And we do have 9 individuals moving with us from Center 70 to Portsmouth Harbour. We have an empty cabin right now. And then we'll fill that one as soon as we get there.
And I'll be back in a minute.
And then we have an additional 5 cabins coming at the end of October, hopefully. So we'll have a total of 15. And then, so that means a change in our staffing. So we'll have 2 staff on shift 24/7. So there'll always be 2 people available if anything comes up. We haven't, I mean, knock on wood, we haven't really had any neighborhood incidents that we've had to, you know, we've never received a call from a neighbor asking us to intervene in a neighborhood incident, which is great. And we've had really respectful neighbors. Lakeside has been really good to us as well. One of our more significant changes at a board level is that the Reverend Christine Sloan has joined us as the president of our board. So we've picked up a few volunteers while we've been at Lakeside. That'll be newer faces when we come back to Portsmouth. Questions? This is such a quiet group.
Lindsay and Dave just joined us as well. So welcome, Lindsay and Dave.
You guys are too easy. So the other things that are coming up, we will be announcing some community engagement dates for 2 different sessions. One is to screen a documentary we've screened before called Community First. We'll be screening that online this time, and it's about a community in Austin, Texas that's a good model for us to aim towards, which is a combination of people who just choose to live simply, and people who previously experienced homelessness. And they have a diverse range of housing options for people, which are all, you know, as simple as a yurt or a cabin like ours, or a trailer, or some of the bigger, there's some tiny, fully contained tiny homes, and then some pretty fancy trailers all mixed together. It's a really nice community, and I'm fingers crossed hope to visit one day. But we watch them and participate in all of their information sessions to be able to keep aiming forward to a nice model like that. And then the other one that's going to be screened with the help of the Kingston Community Health Centers is a documentary called Resilience, and it's about trauma and how trauma impacts your brain. And it's a lot of the work we try to do at the cabins is to be trauma informed and to recognize that the people that we support have experienced in their lives a high number of incidents of trauma. Normally somebody living, you know, kind of whatever a normal life is anymore, I have no idea, but somebody's fully functional, living in a house and has a job and all of that stuff, they usually score somewhere in the range of 0 to 4 trauma incidents. And what we're finding in the population of people that we're trying to serve is that their trauma scores are up between 11 and 18 incidents. So it's a significant traumas that we're trying to help people work through to help them on a path to success. So the documentary's Resilience helps explain some of that work. It just mostly talks about childhood trauma and how childhood trauma impacts and rewires people's brains and interferes with wellness as adults. And then what we found in the population of people experiencing homelessness is that they're traumatized every day, and their traumas, continue into adulthood. Just, the nature of not having a safe home to be comfortable in. So those two, I think the resilience screening is on the 28th of September, and then the community first one will happen after we settle in. Our plans for moving right now are to pack up on the 26th. The cabins move on the 27th, so they'll show up in Portsmouth Harbour on the 27th, and then we'll move back in on the 28th. And so we'll be sleeping in Portsmouth Harbour on the 28th. So once we've settled and everybody's kind of finding comfortable home again, then we'll do some more screenings around the work that we've been trying to do. Thanks for the link, Jen, in the chat. Questions?
Carol, I see that you've come off mute. Did you have a question or a comment that you'd like to share?
I guess I'm zoomed into the wrong meeting. I was looking for a meeting that discussed Rawdon Park and the cabins there. So I've been given the wrong Zoom meeting, I think.
Yeah.
What you're saying is interesting, but I think I'll just close now. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you for taking the time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
How do I get out?
Maureen, did you have a question? I see your hand up. Oh, let me help you with that. You're on mute there.
Okay. How many cabins are coming back to Portsmouth Village?
The same 10 that we had last time are coming back. So we're
10, that's the same. Okay, and they'll be in the same place then, I guess.
Yeah, in the same location. It's going to be a little bit different layout because we have to fit in another 5 towards the end of October. So it'll be stretched out a little bit longer. And we're making sure that we're not blocking the tunnel for the brigantine to be able to access the tunnel work. So they won't be quite under if you remember, some of the cabins were almost under the overhang. We won't
Yes,
be
they were
that close this time. We'll be back a little bit more, but the fire lane will still be open.
Oh, good.
You can still walk through and drive through.
Are they putting that fence up again, like to protect the boats or whatever? I mean, it was really good the last time. There was no problems from our point of view, my point of view anyway. I took down cookies and stuff and talked to quite a few of them. They're very interesting people to talk to. So yeah.
So I think there's some discussion about whether the fence is necessary or not, because there wasn't any problems.
Yeah, I don't really think it is.
Yeah, the discussion is around whether it's keeping honest people honest, because we did see some other people going into the fencing area, but it wasn't our residents. So there's some discussion about whether it's necessary. The fence can't be put up until, I think the boats are hauled out October 19th. So the fence wouldn't be installed until.
Yeah, wouldn't be installed till after that. So are some of the same people coming that were there before?
Yep. Do you remember Barry? He was with us before.
I don't know if I remember him particularly, but there was some. Maybe I do. I don't know. Yeah, I think I do remember you. Yes.
we have a number of familiar faces, and then we have a number of new faces as well. So
okay.
It'll be a good mix. There'll be some new interesting stories for you to hear from people.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay, that's good. I can mute again.
Thanks for sharing that, Maureen. I have a question. What is the favorite cookie that you make for the community? Is there one that they usually ask for?
We mostly say thank you.
Not usually. I made peanut butter cookies, and I think they like them. And Carolyn made muffins. Carolyn Barnett, she made muffins and took those down too. So I wanted to make some butter tarts or something to take down, but they were gone before I got down there. But yeah, there
Butter
were,
toast was my vote, but Barry remembers your peanut butter cookies.
oh, okay, good. I'll make some more. Yeah, I just dropped them off to somebody. I gave them to one of the men that were there anyway. And I put them in just in the office around just opened the door and stuck them on the desk there. But yeah, there was a man with no legs who had diabetes. Is he back or is he okay? Or?
This is Barry. You might not recognize him. He's
You
lost
look different. You gotta. I don't think he had a mustache before.
and the hair. I've been
Yeah, and
encouraging him to
hair.
keep hair.
Yeah,
He's
yeah. Okay.
he's also lost quite a bit of weight, probably because you haven't been feeding him cookies. But
Okay. Well, I was wondering about what happened to him because of the fact he was in a wheelchair and everything. And it's kind of really awful for him.
It's one of our biggest housing challenges right now is finding accessible housing for people. So that's for Barry, that's been a big challenge. Just trying.
Well, on CBC, it's on all the time, but students trying to find places to stay that they can afford. And they said on CBC today that Kingston has the highest rents and, housing costs of any place. And I think that they meant the province. I don't know, but well, maybe it's the whole country. I don't know, but I know it's hard. And yet they're building so many things. I mean, oh God, I don't know.
They're building new housing, but the rents are starting at a rate that the people that we support can't usually afford.
Yeah, I mean, even in the village here, there's, the manse there from the Church of the Good Thief, they've made that into an apartment. There's an apartment building behind that. There's a new one on the corner of King and Portsmouth, that big one. And then just walking around, I mean, anywhere there's a lot, they're sticking in a house like it, and yet people are having a hard time finding places. But anyway, okay.
So peanut butter cookies.
Yeah, I'll make some more.
And butter toast.
I'll wait till they're in the home because if I make them, they'll just go.
Well, we need energy for moving. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's true.
I was going to say that leads to me to another question. So Maureen brings over cookies, but what other things can the community do to help Crystal?
Well, our moving schedule is really tight this time. We're turning around in 3 days. So if anybody wants to help residents move back into their cabins, that would be, we'd be thankful for that. And then otherwise, we do have a full kitchen available to us. So we encourage if people would like to make contributions to consider groceries rather than cooked meals, just because we're helping the residents with life skills and helping encourage them to cook their own meals. So we do appreciate, we had a regular donation of chili, which the residents did appreciate the last time we were in Portsmouth, but we are encouraging residents to cook their own meals and to have group meals with us. Okay, Barry has to bow out. He's got an appointment.
See you later.
Thank you, Barry.
I did take some, I took down a waffle maker because I never ever used it. So it was brand new. I'd never ever used the thing. So I don't know whether they ever used it, but it's good for making waffles if you like. Well, yeah, just waffles, because I wanted it for grilled cheese sandwiches, but it only had the one side with a waffle thing on it. So
actually, we have been using it here.
Oh, good. Okay, that's great. So I think Carolyn and myself, I think she took down some clothing and stuff too of Clint's that, they weren't using anymore. So stuff that was in good shape, not, wouldn't give any junk or anything like that, so.
Yeah, we appreciate any clothing, especially as we head into colder weather. We have to start warmer clothes for residents. It's been really fortunate here at Center 70. We have the sharing center right beside us. So we have a nice typical arrangement where we bring them donations that we can't use anymore, and they've been helping us with items that the residents need. So
that's good. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Colleen. It's nice to see you with your camera on. Did you have a question?
Sorry about that. I was thinking of asking something, but thank you. I think this initially was a pilot project. So could we have an update perhaps on the status of the project as it currently stands? I believe that there had been a community donation that had offset the initial commitment by the city. So I'd like just to have a couple of updates on that front, just because I know that they were looking for a long-term location, which those meetings, because of public interest, were canceled. And then this meeting was then initiated, bringing, probably because of the fall already setting in as we speak. So I just was looking for a couple of updates on the program as a whole. Thank you.
Thanks, Colleen. Crystal, do you want me to start and you can jump in? Does that work?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, so we have council approval to have the cabins at Portsmouth through the spring. So until, I believe it's April at this point. Colleen, I'd have to confirm through the council report, but I believe we're there till April. And we are working on the longer term solution. You're absolutely right. We had planned some engagement related to that. We do still have the Get Involved page up. And you can still provide written feedback related to the longer term option there. The planned public engagement sessions that council had directed us to do this fall, we did postpone, and those will be held at a later time once we're able to gather a bit more information. So anybody that had registered for those through the Get Involved page will get notified when they are rescheduled. And they will also be advertised in the same manner that they were previously. And then we'll take a report back to council with either a recommendation or options for their consideration for the actual longer term solution. So that's kind of the status. Does that help?
Yes, thank you. I guess, I think the scope or the number that's floating around is that there are something like 250 unhoused people that are living in this or off, outside of shelters and things like that. Is that the number that the city is currently working with?
Yes, Joanne, maybe we can, I'll ask you to respond to that. I believe I'll let Joanne speak.
Yeah, we keep what's called a by name list, and that is a list of all known homeless individuals within the community. Of that number, you're right, the number is around, I think it's at 249 or so, but that includes individuals that are staying both at the Inn from the Cold, the Integrated Care Hub, Lily's Family Place Shelter, the Concession Street Warming Center, and it actually includes members of the cabin community as well. So there are individuals who are living in the rough right now, but that's not that full number. That number is inclusive of anyone who's accessing services and supports also.
Great. I just like to highlight how important it is to recognize these folks as part of the Kingston community and to find the supports that they need so that they can live with dignity and respect. And so that's, I guess, in this comment is what I'm hoping to just put out there, that I hope everybody can embrace this initiative and that we can continue to find ways to be a community together. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. Appreciate that.
Colleen, you'd asked about the engagement. Like Heather said, that form is still open and we've reopened it for the community. And I put the link into the chat. We have Get Involved Kingston set up. So we have one submission per person. And that just helps, I'm going to say, protect the integrity of an engagement so that we don't get a lot of repeat questions or comments. But the housing email address can take on additional comments and questions. So I just wanted to share that so that the interpretation of one response through Get Involved meant you can only send one item of feedback to the city. That's not the case. Dave, I saw your hand up.
Yes, I was just wondering, it isn't possible to go back in and edit your initial response. Is that right? In the Get Involved?
So technically no, but what we can do is if you want to submit feedback, you can send it to, I'm going to say send it to communications@cityofkingston.ca and it comes to our team. and then we can add it in on your behalf.
Thank you.
If you've already submitted through, I'm going to say that original set of engagement questions from early in September, and you've submitted the community feedback form, then send that extra piece of feedback and comments through Get Involved Kingston. We can go in, but we prefer not to because it protects the integrity of the system. Really good question, though. Hello, Michael, you've joined us.
Hello, I'm sorry I was late. I was
No,
doing
that's
something
okay.
on this all the time.
We were waiting for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was, as I say, I'm the editor of the Portsmouth District Community Association newsletter. And so I was interested to see what my news might go through from this.
When is your next publication?
In October.
Mine? Okay. Did you want me to submit something for you again?
Yes, please, if you would.
I can do that.
Are they moving in by September 30th?
Next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
Good.
We'll see you next week.
You want any help?
Yes, please. We'll have the cabins will arrive on Tuesday, and then we'll probably start moving in. Depends on how long it takes the city to move the cabins. And then last time they were really fast and we're done by 2 p.m. So we expect to start setting up after that. And then Wednesday we'll fully move in.
If people want to help, who do they contact?
Me. So you can give them my email address, which I think you have.
Yes.
info@ourlivable.solutions, and then feel free to give my phone number. Half the city already has it.
Okay.
My cell phone number is 613-453-7358.
Well, that would be useful to actually would be useful to have that, and so that to be able to send people that.
Mm-hmm.
And what sort of help do you need?
Well, because we're turning around so quick, having people help us set up the common space and people's cabins, like the residents' cabins, it would be really helpful, especially because we have a couple of people who can't do it themselves. So staff are focused on making sure they're taken care of. But that for the beginning, that's the kind of help we need. If somebody's willing to drive and shuttle people, it would save us on taxi jets, but from the hotels that we'll be staying at.
Well, I have a trailer. Is that useful to use? If can I help if you want to people want to move with stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Would that be valuable?
We're going to be moving starting 8 o'clock on Monday and just working until we're done. Dave and I are going to be driving vehicles and hopefully, and we have some staff lined up to help load them. So a trailer would be great.
So this is on Monday. When?
Monday, we're going to start at 8, but anytime. So we're going to start moving belongings at 8 o'clock on Monday morning, and then we're going to just work until everything's moved. So there's plenty of time if you would just want to contribute an hour or two.
So this is on the 26th.
On the 26th, on Monday. Yep.
And where does you meet or
come to Center 70 at 100 Days Road.
Yes.
And then we'll meet. If you pull in the parking lot, you'll see us.
And were you thinking that Crystal would pull your trailer, or are you offering to pull it as well?
No, I'll pull the trailer.
Okay. Nice. Then we'll be doing faster.
Now I have a car and then I have a trailer, and I live I live just up from the I'm the closest house to the cabins actually, and so as I say, I'm prepared to, if you need movements any other time, I will be able to do that. So,
thank you.
So it's 8 o'clock you're starting.
Yeah, you don't have to be here at 8, but it just anytime you can give us during the day. That's sure. Loads we don't have to do into the night, so that's good.
All right,
that's helpful. Thank you.
I will help them.
Thank you.
So we've been a quiet group tonight. I'll give everybody another 45 seconds or so if they have any extra thoughts, and then I'll regroup what we've talked about today, and then let you go on with your evenings. So any last thoughts, comments, or questions? Okay, so I've shared some extra information in the chat. The most recent chat is Crystal's email address. So for the people that had questions about how to help or how to donate, you can reach out to Crystal directly. That information's in there. Also in the chat is a link over to Get Involved Kingston, where there's an open forum for community feedback. And just to reiterate, we do have that limited to one submission per person, but if you have additional thoughts beyond that, you can email it over to housing@cityofkingston.ca. If you have supplemental information to what you've already submitted, you can send that to communications@cityofkingston.ca. There's also a link in there in the chat about the city's housing initiatives, because Maureen had some comments and questions about that. Crystal talked about some of the work that they're doing for the community and some information that they're sharing, and that's also including a screening of the film Resilience, and so there's a link in the chat about that film. We learned that the community in the cabins really likes Maureen's peanut butter cookies, that Colleen had some questions and comments about the importance of getting people into housing. And then who else did we hear from this evening? Michael and his generosity as well. So this session is being recorded. As soon as we wrap, I'll start getting that uploaded into YouTube. A copy of the chat and a copy of the link of the recording will be sent over to Councillor Doherty, who wasn't able to attend tonight due to a prior commitment. And then with that, I thank you very much for spending your evening with us, and have a pleasant afternoon and evening.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.